and welcome to another installment of Liberty Nation's Swamponomics videocast. I'm Andrew Moran, Ellen's economics correspondent. Today, Philadelphia's soda tax. The state fails again. 5 years ago, the city of Philadelphia slapped a 1.5-cent ounce levy on sugary beverages, which became known as the soda tax. The results? Well, if it involves government meddling, it was a failure. A new study by researchers from the University of Georgia combed through 4 years worth of data. They found that the demand for soda pop doubled by about 1/3. The problem? Using figures from the Nielsen retail scanner data, consumers did one of two things. People consumed other sweets or traveled to nearby jurisdictions to purchase their favorite black, green, or clear liquids inside aluminum cans or plastic bottles. In addition, as such is the case, the soda tax disproportionately impacted low-income residents. Felipe Lozano Rojas, an assistant professor in the School of Public and International Affairs and the study's lead author, said in the report, quote, "You probably don't need to run a complicated statistical analysis to know that if somebody charges you more, then you buy less. But it's a double-edged sword from the standpoint of who is going to carry the burden of that tax. Low-income groups are going to be disproportionately affected." But rather than conceding paternalistic behavior by politicians is always nearly a failure, the study authors say that there needs to be broader government action, including having the federal or state government prevent people from cross-border shopping or subsidizing healthier food options. This is exactly what legendary economist Ludwig von Mises warned about. Intervention begets intervention. He wrote in the seminal book Bureaucracy, quote, "Economic interventionism is a self-defeating policy. The individual measures that it applies do not achieve the results sought. They bring about a state of affairs which, from the viewpoint of its advocates themselves, is much more undesirable than the previous state they intended to alter." Meanwhile, this type of tax results in lower sales and then impacts business decisions, including labor. The American Beverage Association, a soft drink industry trade group, reported that the city lost nearly 1,200 jobs following the soda penalty. Moreover, a penalty on drinking soda will nudge beverage makers to shift operations to the water or fruit drink industries. This, of course, triggers a few other things: less supply, higher prices, and a lack of competition. In the end, the government waging war on the sins of society by applying taxes on them is nothing more than a feel-good idea that fails to achieve any of the policy's objectives. It just hurts the very people it is supposed to help. All it does is give politicians and bureaucrats more money to waste. So, is soda bad for you? Most definitely. It is one of the worst things you could ever put in your body. Is it the government's job to regulate behavior? If so, then the state will need to intervene and start regulating Netflix binging, social media consumption, watching President Joe Biden's speeches, and video game playing. Whoops. Let's not give the government any ideas. That's it for me this week. Please read my full Swamponomics column every week on LibertyNation.com. Also, please be sure to check out some of my Swamponomics interviews with the likes of media personality Carol Roth, economist Stephen Moore, and former Texas Republican Congressman Ron Paul. Thank you.
Entertaining, informative, and just plain fun. Watch Liberty Nation's The Conservative 5. Produced by conservatives for conservatives. C5's The Left Free Zone. Hosted by Liberty Nation's Lisa K. Donner. Joined by a raucous, irreverent panel of authors. Deconstructing leftist narratives. Debating the hot topics. And remembering to laugh. Join the official conservative safe space.
You only did that to piss Jeff off.
Liberty Nation's The Conservative 5.